Hello and welcome to another video. And today I will be doing a kind of prediction for how the Democratic candidates will do during the first debate. So it has been split into 2 nights. 20 candidates will be attending. One's on the 26th and one's on the 27th. So the first night, I'll get to later. I just want the second night is the big one. So on the 27th, there will be Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Kamala, and Michael Bennet, Kirsten Gillibrand, Swalwell, Hickenlooper, Williamson, and Yang. So those are for the second night, and that will be way more people will watch that debate. It has way more of the popular figureheads, the ones that are doing well in polling, like Sanders, Buttigieg, Harris, Biden. So who do I think will win here? Well, I'm going to start from the bottom, like who will do the worst, until who will do the best. So I do personally think that Eric Swalwell will do horribly in the debates. I don't know what he could say. You can't even tell the difference between him and Tim Ryan and Seth Moulton. Like, for real, you can't tell the difference. He's just so boring. It has nothing to add to the conversation. I don't know what I'll say. The only thing he has is that Trump is bad, and everybody else is also saying that, so I don't know. In ninth, I see Michael Bennet. Michael Bennet is also like that. I don't think he's really good. He doesn't really add anything. He's just like that candidate that's there. So, yeah, I'd see him going in ninth. And for eighth, Hickenlooper. Josh Hickenlooper has been booed for his centrist stances. He's gonna lose a lot of voters and a lot of support. He has to be more progressive, but of course he won't. Well, thinking about it, he could, but I don't think he will. And only Biden and Yang really have a chance as moderates, or nobody else really does. But yeah, Hickenlooper also is not that good at debating. I don't know what he'd say. It would just be boring. So seventh place would be, let's look around here. I do see Marianne Williamson doing, well, yeah, Marianne Williamson will get seventh. Marianne Williamson has actually a core following, and I think that she's done pretty well. I don't think that she's done well enough to do well in the debates, but I think that if she goes to the second debate, she'll start doing better. It's just that nobody really knows her, and they won't be focusing on her. They'll be focusing on people like Biden, Sanders, Harris, Buttigieg, and a lot of people will be focusing on Yang. So sixth, I see Kirsten Gillibrand getting sixth place in here. Kirsten Gillibrand is a pretty bad candidates, but I think that she will be able to use some progressive talking points to help her do well. I think she'll attack people like Hickenlooper and Biden, but of course she will be a hypocrite if she does that, especially because of what she does. She is a fake progressive. She takes a lot of super PAC money. So, I don't really know. But people don't really know that. Or if they do, they don't care. So, she'll do okay. And fifth, in here, I do see Joe Biden getting fifth. And I don't think he'll do well in the debates. He'll do better than other candidates, but he's just not gonna do well in the debates. He's gonna get grilled by progressives, and he won't have anybody to back him up. Hickenlooper isn't like a person to help you. Somebody like Sanders, Harris, Gillibrand. These people are gonna go on Biden, and they know where to go. He has a lot of iffy things about him. So I could see Joe Biden getting grilled, having a defense. So now the fourth place. I'd either do Buttigieg or Harris. I think it's gonna be Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg is not the most progressive, but he is gaining support. I think that Kamala Harris will do better on the debate stage. Some progressives don't really support him. Buttigieg is kind of like a centrist. He's in the center between centrists and progressives. So he will be grilled, but not as much as Biden. And then Kamala Harris. I do see Kamala Harris doing well. Kamala Harris will do pretty good. I do see her being able to go out on Sanders on some stuff, like the reparations. But really, she'll just be another one of those progressives. But since she seems more genuine, I think that she'll do well. And Sanders and Yang, both of these people are really good at speaking. You don't really have to agree with them on policy. They are pretty good with just talking and speaking. So I'm gonna have to go with Sanders for second place. And I don't have any bias for Andrew Yang. If you've been subbed to this channel for a long time, you know how much I disagree with Yang. It's just that I think he'll do well. Sanders will do really well. He will be able to get a lot of the progressives back. I think after the debate, Joe Biden will sink in the polls, and he'll go up Bernie Sanders. But people already know him. The only place that he can really take from is from people like Biden or undecided voters. So he will have to be really, if he stays on his stance and he doesn't backtrack on anything and he just stays progressive, then he'll do really well. But the main person is Andrew Yang. He will do really well for himself. He will get his name out. People will find out who he is. He'll be able to appeal to both sides. The UBI will be really well liked during the debate. And yeah, I think that Andrew Yang will do great. I think the best And after this, his poll numbers will surge. So that's really good for him. So now that we covered the second night, the more important nights, I'll go to the second one, this one. So here we have also some big names like Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker, and Tulsi Gabbard, and Elizabeth Warren. So for this one, this night will be interesting. I will watch both of these. And for 10th place here, I do see Bill de Blasio coming last. He just can't. He will not have support from anybody. He can't get anybody from the Biden camp. He can't get anybody from the progressive camp. He'd be grilled a lot for a lot of his stances and for how he's part of the 1%. So I see him being 10th. I don't know what he'd say. He wouldn't do well. But for 9th, I do see John Delaney coming 9th. He's just so boring. You can't support him. Nobody's gonna want to hear what he says. He's kind of like this Biden, and he's like, I will make America normal again. But he doesn't give any solutions. Nobody wants to support somebody like that. So, same thing with Tim Ryan, 8th place. Pretty boring person. I don't see him winning at all, or getting close, or doing anything well. He will do horribly, and he doesn't have anything to add to the conversation. He just is against Trump. That won't help anymore. The things that help are radical change. That's what will happen during this election season. So, 7th place, I do see Jay Inslee. Same thing with him, he's less boring, but still, he's not memorable. I don't know who would think of him at all during the debate. He's just not be memorable. But now, Julian Castro is next on this list. Julian Castro is a pretty bad candidate. I just think that he'll do well with some progressives, but he'll do well with the Latinos, especially in this debate. But will he have good talking points? I don't think so. This was the worst. This debate is pretty bad. Most people will be horrible in this debate. But after Castro, I do see Cory Booker or Amy Klobuchar. Probably Amy Klobuchar because she's less progressive. Sorry for that. So she will be kind of, well, she won't be as grilled, but she will be challenged a lot in this debate. And I do see that. I do see her not doing that well. I don't know what she'll say. She'll say some centrist stuff, but that will just make progressives hate her even more. When she's trying to make herself look progressive, but she's still a centrist, I don't know. That wouldn't work. So, next up would be Cory Booker. I do see Cory Booker doing okay, but I don't really know. He'll be an average. He won't ruin himself like other candidates will, but he won't really add anything to the conversation. And we have Beto O'Rourke, Tulsi Gabbard, and Elizabeth Warren. I honestly think Beto O'Rourke will come third. He will do well. He will get a lot of support from the crowd for what he says. But I think that somebody like Gabbard and somebody like Warren are more charismatic in a way. Not Warren or Gabbard, and you could have like this connection, kind of. Like you could understand what they're saying. For Beto O'Rourke, it just seems kind of corporate, and he is pretty corporate. So, yeah. So, next up would be, I think that Elizabeth Warren will do really well, but I think that she'll get second. She will use a lot of progressive talking points, and she will keep up with her progressive stances on issues, and that will do pretty good for her. She will do pretty well in the debates. But I think that Tulsi Gabbard is able to make more of a connection with the audience, and she's more able to persuade people to her side. And she's really good at, helping, she's really good at hooking the audience and then swaying them. So I think Gabbard is really going to do well. I don't agree with her on almost any policy, but I think that she'll still do well with progressives this time around. I think a lot of Bernie supporters would choose her second after Bernie, just because of Warren didn't endorse Sanders in 2016. So that's the end of the video. Just thanks for watching, and bye.